we all shall join a sharing which is so beautiful, so rare, and so complete.
I believe the society is as good as its institutions. The institutions are made up by teachers. The quality of education is just as good as the quality of teachers. My present passion is to train the teachers and to make them more creative in whatever they are doing. If a teacher is not as creative as at least the student, I cannot stimulate a student. Learning becomes a drudgery rather than a joyous venture. To make learning a passion for life, to make teachers enjoy what they are doing, what we need most today is creative teaching. Many people have asked me, is creative teaching the same as teaching creativity? No. Teaching creativity is different than creative teaching. Then brings me to the question, what is creative teaching? Remember, each one of us have our own styles of teaching. We call individual teaching styles of teachers. And at this time we forget that as every teacher has a different teaching style, every student also has a different learning style. Today's world is moving more towards understanding the learning styles of students, while we are lost in the art of only teaching methodologies. To understand how the child learns is more important today. Only when a teacher matches his or her teaching style to suit the learning style of the student, teaching becomes creative. Otherwise, a large segment of students are left behind. They lose interest in the class, and that manifests as disruptive behavior. When I blame disruptive behavior, I should realize I am the cause for it. I should identify the way I can change my teaching style to suit their learning style. That is to me creative teaching. In fact, 34 years ago when I started teaching, I went to a master and asked him, shall I join teaching? Mind you, I asked him a question. Instead of answering my question, the master threw me 3 questions. And he said, child, listen to these 3 questions carefully. And if the answers to these 3 questions is yes, go ahead and join teaching profession. You will be happy and students will be happy. If the answers to any of these 3 questions is no or even doubtful, for God's sake don't become a teacher, nothing is lost. And my friends, I consider these 3 questions as the foundation of what I call ethics in teaching. The first question looks apparently very simple. Remember, none of these 3 questions are so simple. They are poignant with meaning. The first question is, do you think you love your subject? Most of us say yes, I love my subject. But the question is, do you love your subject because it gives you a job, a sustenance, or you are passionately in love with the subject? If you truly love your subject, and when you go and teach in the class, you just don't talk about it, the whole body talks about it. You are so excited about it. And children can make out you love your subject so much. In fact, no question of students feeling bored about it. Students feel bored only when I am not passing on that excitement to the students. When I love something intensely, it manifests in my behavior in the class, and students are also charged up. And do you love your subjects and teach with the same passion? When the child listens to your class, the child should feel nothing is more interesting in life than learning this subject. Do you mean that? The second question is more intricate, at a higher level. Second question is, do you love your profession? Many people make some remarks about teaching and say, some people are teachers by choice, some people are teachers by chance. To me, my friends, it is irrelevant. Whether you become a teacher by choice or by chance is not important. Once you become a teacher, you should stand up to the demands of a teacher. There is no question about it. Imagine we are going on a tour on a hillside. We are going through a very difficult terrain. We hire a car, and imagine you go and talk to the driver and ask him, since how many years you have been driving? He says probably a couple of years. And you ask him, do you love driving? Oh, imagine he says, oh, I hate driving. The moment I sit behind the steering wheel, I feel like dozing off. I hate this job. And especially this terrible terrain, I feel like driving. Now tell me, are you excited to travel by that car? I bet you don't. The reason is, when you have an unwilling driver, the risk is very high. Remember, my friends, one unwilling or unenthusiastic, disinterested driver can put 5 lives into risk. One careless pilot can put 300 lives into risk. Mind you, one slightly disinterested teacher can put 10,000 lives into risk. We can destroy the curiosity of a child if I am not interested. The boy who could have been a Nobel laureate, will land him up an unprofessional job. Therefore, the ability, the potentiality of the child is to be nurtured by a teacher only who loves his profession. If you don't love your profession,